Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Spiegel Mom Scraps to share with you a video that I created as I created this layout for Emoji Week. It's Emoji Week here on Spiegel Mom Scraps, and we are using emojis somehow, some way, shape, or form in our layouts. So I have these two pictures of my daughter with a Pooh hat on at some amusement park that we were at, and I thought that the collection from Simple Stories as well as the Gotta Love Emojis sequence collection or mix from Spiegel Mom Scraps would be perfect for this picture. So I cut out the multicolored strip and used a strip of black and white diagonal to just sort of pull some color into that, and then created this title Stinking to go with cute from other letters that I was going to use as the focus of this layout to draw your eye down to the picture. The font that I used with my silhouette in order to create that title is called Whortle. It's capital WHORTLE, and I just welded those together in order to create that. It was a little bit tough to see Stinking, and I wanted a little bit more definition to it, so I could have inked the edges, but I just chose to use a distress pen. I think it was a distress pen, and just outline that. And so I just used that same striped pattern paper from Simple Stories and created using this die cut, the old-fashioned machine die cut, to put the letters on cute for the each different color. And this was just to mimic the letters that existed in the Simple Stories collection. I didn't order all of the collection, and some of the words that they had in the cut-apart cards and what have you were the font with the circles cut into it. So I used that as the other part of my title. So now I've got the title, the pictures, and it's just time to put a couple of paper layers and embellish a little further. So I put washi up the tape to sort of create a bit of a header to ground this, and I wanted something else for another layer up there. And I decided to make the title Seriously Stinking Cute and moved my words down so that I could fit seriously sort of as another layer underneath that polka dot washi for the header there. And you see I've got those stamps from Stampin' Up, maybe? Can't remember what company they're from, but I wanted to use those to add a little bit more color to the background. I put my sticker elements oftentimes on wax paper so that I can move them around and see where I want them to go. Just playing around with a couple more embellishments. These are the stickers they're the clear stickers from Simple Stories that go with the emoji collection. And looking for some complementary paper. I knew I wanted some yellow, and I didn't have the yellow that goes in the collection, and I wanted a little bit of blue as well, or pink, some of those same colors just to back the pictures with. So I have that Dynamics die there, and I use the yellow from Bella Boulevard. It's a scrap. It's a very well-loved scrap. I use this quite frequently. And just cut that out as a frame behind the picture. And what I love about this die is it's got little X's in it, so it looks kind of like it's been stitched, which just adds a fun visual element to backing pictures. And then I wanted another layer, so this time I take that hot pink, and that is from Fancy Pants. And you can see how you can use papers from other collections if you just buy bits and pieces. If you use the solids or the B-sides from other collections, it always works well, and that way you kind of create your kit of your own, and it's a fun way of making a thinner stash go a long way. And then I bring out the Gotta Love emojis. I love these colors. They're not the colors that are in the pictures, but I love the way that the hot pink, the yellow, and the black complement the colors that are in the pictures and the other colors that I've used here on the layout. So you see here I've got a trio of trios, and ultimately I decide to remove the third set because I like the way that the sequence in the top left next to stinking brings your eye down to the picture and across and moves in a diagonal across the page there. So here I have the stamps, and I use the same colors, that blue, the yellow, and the pink, which are sort of the three primary colors that I use in this layout, and use two of the stamp pads that I use are Avery L and the other is Heidi Swap, and I just stamp them overlapping to get a little bit of extra color into the layout. I also happen to have the Emoji roller date stamper that's not a date stamper from Simple Stories that coordinates, and I wanted to use that somewhere on the layout as well. So first we go with the yellow. I went with the lighter color first, just that way the stamp wasn't potentially contaminated with a darker color, and then went with the pink and just overlapped that a little bit. And then there's just a little bit of the blue on the right hand side, but I wanted the bulk of the blue to be on the left hand side. And again, the way that I decided to stamp things was to help move your eye again from that top left down to the bottom right there. I haven't decided to stamp that left-hand side yet. I wanted to get things down and anchored a little bit. I just, rather than tearing that black and white strip, I just sort of fussy cut. I didn't even fussy cut it. I just ran my scissors through it so that it wasn't necessarily a straight line. And I like when you have those geometrics to soften the blow of them by sort of adding that wavy, asymmetrical wave to them. So now I'm just gluing things down and figuring out where that blue's going to go. And I put a little bit on the right hand side there. So this is where I sped this up, but I mentioned earlier as I was making this video that it was tough to see that stinking, and I just wanted to give a little more definition to the edges, and I just used the Distress pen to do an edge to it there. Nothing special, just dotted lines running across each of the edges there. So there it goes. And I did the same thing on the tops of the eyes, which I think I might have sped through. And I just used my Prima glue pen to get those down. I really, really like this Prima glue pen. I used to use a Martha Stewart blue glue pen, and I do still really like that, but I love how permanent the Prima pen is, and it really does hold things down nicely. So I stuck that down, folded over the washi edge there. I was going to rip it or cut it, but I figured just stick it over the other side. And now I have my Shimmerz, which is also from the Spiegel Mom Scrap store. She carries some great colors, and I just splatted a little bit of that to add a little bit more color to this white background. I'm getting tired of white. I love white backgrounds, but I do like color on my pages. I've just got so many busy pattern papers lately that it's tough to make backgrounds out of those. So a fun way to add some color to your white backgrounds is using stamps and or mists. And so you can see that adds a nice touch of color to the edges there. Gluing down the different layers that I cut earlier. And sticking down the rest of the title. So I've already got stinking glued down, and now it's time to put cute. And I just love the play on words. I do try and do plays on words on a lot of my titles where I can. Sometimes I'm not always that creative, but I do try. And I still need something over on the left-hand side of that picture over there. This is the date roller stamp that I wanted to use, And I just used the smiley face and that stinks. So that stinks is what's on the right near the stamps there. And I think later on I go in and put in the smiley face over near the mist splatter on the left-hand side there. Finishing off the title and repositioning the sequence that shifted a little bit as I was reconstructing the layout that I had. It's funny how when you lay things down and then when you move them to adhere them, they always get shifted. Like I just noticed that the sequence got shifted down the page, whereas they were originally up closer next to stinking, which I kind of liked them up there, but they're there now. So I guess that's where they're staying. There's my love-hate relationship with these things. I love the way they look. I hate gluing them down. Just a couple more stickers. There's that wax paper that I got rid of, and that one says Love Your Guts. And again, that's from the Simple Stories collection. And you can see the running theme on this emoji layout here. Thanks to Simple Stories for the most part. And then my sequence from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I really wanted to use that big sticker that mimics her hat, and it looks great there on the left-hand side. And this is where I decide that I wanted to continue the theme of that stamp from left to right, but I wanted it to be really subtle, and I was able to achieve that. And that's an OMG sticker, and it looks great right there. So we're going to stick that there, and I think I decided, oh, I've got a smiley face, a laughing emoji icon to go up by seriously, because that title's it's pretty funny, I think. And just a couple more of the stickers from that sticker pack there. Again, just to add some visual interest to the layout. I don't show this on the video, but I did journal in that white space underneath the pictures, and it just tells the story of how she was goofing around at the shops. And how if you ever need a funky hat that King's Dominion, it's a theme park near us, always manages to have them. So we're going to come up to some close-ups and call that done in a minute. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you enjoyed this process video. If you did enjoy it, I'd love to see some thumbs up. If you don't subscribe, we'd love to have you over at Spiegel Mom Scraps to see how we use our fun shimmers and sequence mixes. Thanks for stopping in today. Take care.